All right. I want to say good morning to you, everybody, and welcome to this season of Christmas celebration. I'm grateful to the opportunity to talk to us today. Today, we want to look at Medchart, and the essence of this is to remind us that from next year there will be a strict rule in the management of our stock when it comes to stock control and stock monitoring. So I want to encourage us to pay attention to this training. The training will guide us on how to use Medchart effectively to increase our speed and accuracy in drug dispensing. Um, we'll be looking at Medchart. I'll share my screen, then we'll continue from there. I also want to urge us to take this training serious because from next year, there will be disciplinary implications to errors in drug dispensing and the dispensing of drug. So I'll be sharing my screen now. So quickly going to Medchart. Okay, now this is Medchart. For purpose of this training, let me quickly log out. Sorry for that. Let's go back to screen sharing and close like that. All right, I want to log into Medchart. Now, please, I want us to take note that in Medchart login, the essence of you logging out and logging in of Medchart is for record tracking purpose. When you've logged in Medchart, every activity carried out in that login detail is tied to the person that has logged into Medchart. For instance, if I log in my details in Medchart and I've closed from work and I forget to log out and somebody come without logging me out and continue to use my login details, it means everything that the person does will be traced to me. And for the purpose of record keeping and tracking, I advise everybody to always log out of your Medchart details before you leave or before you hand over to the next person resuming duty. I also want to encourage us to be sincere enough. If you are the one resuming duty and somebody's login is active, please log the person out and log in with your own details because it is very, very important. Now, quickly, let me log in to Medchart. So we'll continue from there. Oh, sorry, this thing is seriously disturbing me. Okay, quickly, I've logged in, and if you look at the Medchart, we have a unit specifically for pharmacy, laboratory, and radiology. When you click that, there will be a drop-down arrow that will display different options like drug revolving fund store, pharmacy requisition form, satellite pharmacy service, laboratory and blood bank, radiology, and medical imaging. Now, for the purpose of this training, I want to mention that pharmacy requisition form has not been configured properly. So we don't have any business in pharmacy requisition form. Our business when it comes to pharmacy is strictly on drug revolving store and satellite pharmacy service. Now, I'll be looking into satellite pharmacy service for those working in the dispensary. For drug dispensing, drug revolving fund store is basically for those working in the store. So quickly, let's go to satellite pharmacy service. Now, oh, now this is a satellite pharmacy service page. Now, quickly, we'll be going through these menus one after the other. If you look at the down part of the the page, you see at your extreme right, you see things like drug dispensing model, restore item not available, satellite pharmacy service, drug dispensing register, pushes and saves. Then next to it, you see edit, you see revenue, you see tally, you see new prescription, patient drug ledger, drug requisition, you see things like average monthly consumption rate, you see things like stock entry, you see financial report, drug act registration. Then you will now see things like pharmacy, like outpatient pharmacy. It has a drop down where you see different units typed to the store, like the accounting units, the kitchen. Now you also see pharmacy number, hospital number, requisition, and that's other details. Now, other important details you see is the date of the prescription. Today is 22nd. You can switch to any date, but we will not be going into details to this section on this page. So quickly, let's go to drug dispensing model. Now, this is our drug dispensing model where we work with frequently when it comes to dispensing of patient drugs, editing of patients' details, patient prescriptions, and all that. Now, I will not forget to mention that in the practice of First Rivers, all services are always coded, and that's the essence of the pharmacy number, where you see from one to down, you see there are unique number are tied to the prescription that will be brought to us from the doctors to the patients. Now, that's at the extreme left of the screen, of the extreme left of the page. Now you see total number displayed here is 14. 14 is the total number displayed. Now you see number 1 to 14. Now in there are different numbers, of which towards the ending of the number you see things like PHM, which is an abbreviation for pharmacy. You see the date of prescription, you see the hospital number of that prescription. Now to see the full detail of the prescription, you click on that pharmacy number. Now when you click on the pharmacy number, you see details of that prescription. Now this prescription was made for Ugo Ebimobowe by Dr. Abel as a consultant. The word is coming from accident and emergency unit. Malaria and sepsis is the clinical information or diagnosis. Now, allergy not known. This is where you see the details of the prescription of the patient. Now, the age of the patient is 9 years, male, and the ethnicity is Izo. And this is the pharmacy number here. This is the hospital number. The weight of the patient on this page, the weight of the patient is missing. Now, the relationship. In this relationship, sometimes you either see private, you either see First Bank, and so many companies. Sometimes you also see FROH, First Rivers Hospital. And this relationship basically come in abbreviations. Sometimes those abbreviations are confusing, but to make reference or for a better understanding, you make reference to the billing officer who has a better knowledge, or even the front desk who has a better knowledge of the full meaning to the abbreviation. Now the patient phone number and the receipt number, if the person has paid and all that. Now our basic concern here you will now see the details of the prescription. The details of the prescription. Now, there is what to call um, there is what to call the standard operation, standard operating procedure for dispensing of pharmaceutical products. Now, I would advise you to go and read through the guideline. The guideline talks about you ensuring that the prescriptions are correct before dispensing. Now, there are so many other things in the menu. If you look at the prescription, you see the items and drug description, you see dosage regimens, that is like the dosage frequency, you see the unit price of each drug referred as in like each tablet. The cost you are seeing here is the cost of each unit drug, like cost of one tablet, cost of one syrup, cost of one injection, cost of one syringe, cost of one, and all that. Now you see the quantity as prescribed, and you see the total cost by the quantity, that is the unit cost by the quantity you give us the total cost, and you see the stock level. Now my concern in this stock is, if you look at the pharmacy consumable, we are seeing minus 142,700 and something, and so on. Now anyone showing minus, it means the stock is not balanced in the system, and this is a major concern. The essence of this training is to ensure that we dispense the right drug in the right quantity to the right patients as doctor has prescribed, and that's called for the need for we to edit prescription, if need be, to edit the prescription to what it should be, so that we will not dispense the wrong medication. Now also you look at quantity dispensed. In this quantity dispensed, it can be altered, it can be edited. Now you see the balance that will remain from the system if that quantity will be dispensed. Now, for instance, we have stock quantity for amoxicillin capsule. Second to the last item, amoxicillin capsule is 722. If we should dispense the 15, you see that what will be remaining is 707 quantity. Now the question is, this balance stock, does it tally with what you have physically? If it doesn't, then there is an error. At that point, there is need to call the store staffs, to call the attention of the store staff, so that amendments could be made to it. Now, it also tells us that if the thing doesn't tally, it also tells us that we've not been doing the writing. Probably we've been dispensing without actually giving out, or probably we've been giving out without actually dispensing from the system. And these things are very key to our stock management. Now, there is another thing important in there, the expiration date. Now, this expiration date might not tally with what you have physically. The reason is because the system is automated in such a way that it picks the last expiration date as registered in the system. For instance, if the pharmacy store receive amlodipine today and they input the details of that amlodipine, the system automatically picks the date of that amlodipine and replace it with the remaining other amlodipine in the store. And that means it couldn't tally, but our concern should be, is the expiry date showing expired or not? If the thing is showing expired, you can quickly edit it. Then after that editing, you should now call the store, the attention of the store officers or the store staffs to it, so that they can amend it to and correct it, so that you'll not be editing it whenever you want to dispense that particular drug. Yeah, the next thing is the batch number and the status, approved or paid. You know how to manage those things better as time goes on. Now, in this, I want to make more emphasis on drug, the strength, and their dosage form. It is true that it is not all the strength of drug we have that are represented in the system. Not all the drugs we have that are represented in the system. For instance, I'll be using, okay, let me see if I could see any prescription that could fit what I want to explain from what we have. Um, all right, I've seen something here that calls my attention to the expiration date. Now, for instance, if you look at this, okay, let's look at the first item there. Penicillin tablet was prescribed, and the expiry date for the penicillin tablet is showing May 25th of May 2022. It means from our record it has expired, but what we have physically may not have expired. So in this case, what you do is, in order not to waste time, first you have to go and edit the expiration date so that you can be able to dispense out the drug. Now you click the year and keep pressing to the desired date that you will need. If the month doesn't tally, you also edit the month to your preferred month and click on any day of the month, your preferred date so far. Now that has been corrected, and as such, it can be dispensed. Now for this one that has not been corrected, if you want to dispense, it won't go. It won't go. The reason is because the system will not allow you to dispense out expired drug. So let us always be careful in this aspect. Now, after editing this, you need to call the staffs of the store staffs. You should have to call the attention of the store staff so that they can do a permanent editing on the expiration date of that particular drug. So that whenever you want to dispense, you won't keep editing the expiration date. It will take you more time. So it takes us more time if there will be a permanent editing to the correct date as it is on the drug. Now, I also want to call our attention to, I was trying to call our attention to drug that have different strengths, and probably the strength you want to dispense is not in the system, how to manage it, and also how to dispense the right quantity. Sorry about that, my system is seriously hanging. Okay, still searching. Sorry if you observe the thing keep returning me to, I don't know, network is bad. Just bear with me. I'm seriously searching for what could best suit what I want to explain to us. Let's bear with me. The system is very dull and slow. I wish I could get what I'm looking for. I'm most grateful.
I will show you for this for you. Yeah, the concept, yeah, the concept was a meeting now for you. That's the show. I know even carry. You know, I know go assisted. I know carry my uniform. I know carry my uniform. They have. I know go
Okay, I couldn't get what I'm looking for.
Okay, they do something.
I couldn't get what I'm looking for.
Just hold on for me. I know that.
All right. Sorry for the background distraction. I was actually looking for something, but I couldn't get what I'm looking for. So what we'll do is, I want us to look at a particular drug. I saw a particular, yeah, I want to use this as an instance. Now, in managing how to dispense drug correctly from the system, there are so many factors that could make you make a mistake. Now, looking at this prescription, I will be explaining something. Looking at this prescription, this is anti-malaria. The first item there is artemether-lumefantrine 2120. And this is representing the unbranded of the 2120 of the anti-malaria, unbranded of it. Now the branded, for instance, what the patient wanted is branded, and you discover that the doctor has posted unbranded. When we talk about branded, we in this particular product, we talk about the Lonat by 24, we talk about the Amatem Softgel by 24, we talk about the Coatem by 24. Now, for the management of what we are trying to achieve, for the management of our database, we can't add all the different brands in the system. Since we can't add all the different brands in the system, we've classified the anti-malaria into two major brands, which is the Coatem representing all the branded, like the Lonat and the Amatem. While this one that doesn't have any tag representing the unbranded, like every other brand that is not in the class of the branded drugs, like the Amatem, like the Coatem, like the Lonat by 24. So in this case, there will be need for you to edit. Now, if you did not edit this and you print this unbranded, it has counted in the system that you have dispensed out unbranded. And if you give out the branded one, it means you've altered your stock. There is no way your stock will balance in that case. So I want us to pay attention to these aspects when we want to dispense a particular drug. Now, another thing is before you print out drug to dispense or before you dispense any product from the system, you should ensure that the drug is available physically. Ordinarily, if everything being equal, if the drug is not available physically, it shouldn't also be available in the system. And as such, the doctor will not even be able to prescribe that particular drug if it is not available in the system. But perhaps there has been an error and the drug is no longer available physically, but is still available in the system. There is need to call the attention of the store staffs so that they can work on it and keep their records straight. Now, if you dispense this unbranded and you eventually or you end up giving the branded, you've altered your stock and it will affect your record tomorrow. It will affect your record tomorrow. So what we want to achieve is to ensure that our record is straight, we are doing the right thing, we are not cheating the patient is not also cheating us. Because if we dispense this unbranded and we give the patient branded, it means they've cheated us because the price are never the same. The price are never the same. So if they are paying, they will be paying for the unbranded, whereas we're giving the branded that is very much expensive. Now, another thing to check out, if you go to the standard operation procedure, the standard operational procedure for dispensing of pharmaceutical products, you should always check the prescription. Is the prescription correct? Like here, this patient age is 7 years, James Shamalia is 7 years, and his weight is 25.1 kg. His company or HMO is MHS. Now, things to check out is, first, is this patient entitled to these drugs? Does this drug need approval? If the drug need approval, please call for approval. Each of the HMO has their contract, unique contract with the hospital. Some HMO will tell you only give primary service to our patients. Some HMO will tell you when it comes to secondary care service, always call the HMO for authorization. And the authorization, most of the times, is always pre-authorization, which means you should get the authorization before you dispense the drug. In some cases, you must always get the authorization. The essence is because sometimes they decline your authorization and say, don't bother giving the patient the drug, we'll deliver the drug at home. So perhaps if you're giving the drug before getting the authorization, it will affect you. It will not cost us to call the, the, the patient to return the drug, and this is affects our service. So we're encouraging us to take our time to look out for these things. Now, sometimes the doctor will post a drug, and when you look at the prescription, it doesn't tally with the quantity that will be dispensed. So check out if I'm giving anti-malaria three tablets, 2 times a day for 3 days, what should be the quantity? In most cases, the quantity should be 18. That's the correct quantity. But sometimes the doctor will now post some quantity, you see 20 something. There will be need for you to correct it before you dispense. Now, if all these errors happen, what should be done to correct it? Now, there is what we call drug return. If you made any mistake in dispensing more quantity than what should be dispensed, you should ensure to return the balanced drug so that your stock can balance. Now, there are, okay, for instance, in this case, what you do is you go to, if you look at the down part of your page, you see things like refresh incoming list, prescription, you see edit prescription, you see error check, you see items not available, you see patient drug. All right, sorry, my my network was bad, so my network was bad, so the recording was interrupted. I'll continue, or let me go back to sharing of my screen. Let's continue from where we stopped. Okay, now our concern here is editing prescription. That's what we want to do, because perhaps the prescription is not correct, either the drug you want to give is not available, so you want to edit to the right drug that you want to give that is available for you to give. So you will now go to edit prescription. In edit prescription, you can do a lot of things. You can edit the dosage regimen, you can edit the item, you can edit the quantity, and so many other things. Now, having clicked on the edit prescription, this page will be displayed. When this page is displayed, the page has already picked the pharmacy number. If this is the pharmacy number you really want to work with, all you need to do is you click on enter on your keyboard. When you click enter, it will display the full detail of the prescription. Now, remember we said doctor has posted that metalomethadone 2120. This is the unbranded, and what we have in the system is branded, and that's what we have physically is branded. That is what we want to give. So you come here and edit and choose Coartem. Remember, I've said that this Coartem represents all branded class of the anti-malaria of 2120, the Amatem soft gel, the Coartem, and the Lonat 2120. Because we cannot add all these drugs and decisions, not that we cannot add it, but because of our aim of managing the database, so the database will not be that bulky, streamlining our drugs, we decided to do it in this way. And if understood by each and every one of us, we won't have issue with it. Now I'll go to Coartem. Now the Coartem, if you discover on clicking on Coartem, so many things have been altered. The dosage regimen has been altered. The initial dosage regimen is 3 tablets 2 times a day, or 12 hourly for 3 days. Now this has been altered to 2 tablets 2 times a day for 3 days, resulting in quantity of 18. Now, if you notice as well, the unit price is 86 naira. Now, let's check out the unit price for the unbranded initially. Okay, even here, it seems that the unit price of the unbranded is higher than the unit price for the branded. Now, this could not be totally correct because each HMO had their agreed tariff price. Each HMO has their unique agreed tariff price. So when it comes to HMO, we shouldn't be much bothered about the pricing. But perhaps you notice that the pricing is too different from what the buying price or what it should be. You can also call the attention of the pharmacy store staffs so that the needful can be done. Now, in editing the dosage regimen, you click on the dosage regimen, just a single click. This dialog box will open where you now impute, you will now edit. You remember we said the doctor prescribed 3 tablets 2 times a day. You can always click 12 hourly or 2 times a day, 12 hourly for 3 days. You now go to compute dosage regimen. It has reflected. So you close. When you close, you see it here. 3 tablets every 12 hourly for 3 days. The right quantity is 18. Having done this, you can now tick and update. But we don't want to alter this prescription, so we will not click on update. Then perhaps you've done your all necessary correction, all necessary editing, you've edited the prescription, you click on update and approve so that your correction can stay. If you did not click update and approve and you close this page, the prescription will not be updated. It will still remain as it was. Now, for instance, you discover that this person is supposed to take an adult dose. Perhaps it's an adult and doctor has prescribed it 2120, which is not correct. You can edit it to adult dose, or you can also edit it to 4 tablets 3 times daily because that's the adult dose for 2120. Then perhaps you have 80, 480 that you want to give to this patient. You can come here and edit the prescription. Now, likewise, the 8480, we have three major brands. We have the unbranded, and we have 2 other brands referred to branded. We have the Lonat DS, and we also have the Amatem Soft Gel. We also have the Amatem Soft Gel. Depending on which one you want to dispense to this patient or which one is available physically that you want to give to the patient. So you edit. My concern is always edit to what you are giving to the patient. Always edit to what you are giving to the patient. Don't consider the cost effectiveness of what you are giving, but consider the right thing so that your stock can balance, because that's our major concern here, so that your stock can balance. So you can edit to either Amatem Soft Gel or you edit to Lona DS, depending on what you want to give. Now, you'll see that the dosage regimen has automatically changed to 1 tablet BD. You can also go back and edit to 1 tablet 12 hourly, as the case may be for 3. So all your editing is done at this point. Here you can also edit the quantity. Perhaps the prescription is correct, but it doesn't tally with the quantity. You can just come here and edit the quantity to the quantity you want to give to this patient. And you click on update and approve prescription so that your edited version of the prescription can reflect in the dispensing page. Now, there are series of drugs that we'll be using, for instance. Now, I want to use this, for instance, drugs like azithromycin. Azithromycin, we have different brands of azithromycin. It comes in 2 major strengths, the 250 milligram and the 500 milligram. Now, a doctor may want to give 500 milligram of azithromycin daily for 3 days. Ordinarily, the quantity would have been 3 tablets. But because there is no 500 milligram in the system, the doctor has no option than to pick the 250 milligram of azithromycin. This is the 250 milligram of azithromycin, which also comes only in branded. Now you see it here as 250 milligram once a day for 3 days, amounting to 3 tablets. Now, what you have physically is 500 milligram. What the doctor wanted is 500 milligram. So perhaps you see the prescription here as 500 milligram per dose daily for this regimen. You may see this prescription as this 250 milligram, because there's no 500 milligram in the system. 500 milligram once a day for 3 days, and this is it, 6 tablets. Perhaps what you want to give is 500 milligram physically, and it is just 3 tablets you are giving. Note that if this prescription is correct like this, in the sense that what you are giving is 500 milligram, and it should be 3 tablets of the 500 milligram, which is equivalent to 6 tablets of the 250 milligram. So the prescription is correct like this. Now, from our own end, what we will be doing before the year runs out is to add the unbranded in the system. And the only unbranded we'll be adding in the system is the 500 milligram. We will also add the 250 milligram so that it will be easier for us to manage. Now, you should always check out for this so that you won't dispense an error. Perhaps if what you want to give is 500 milligram, doctor has posted 250 milligram, 500 milligram daily, and perhaps the prescription is now coming as 1 tablet daily for this. You see that the quantity has gone back to 3. Ordinarily, what you want to give is 1 tablet once a day for 3 days, but because what you have is 500 milligram, it won't be displaced as this. Or better still, to get things correct, you should know that the quantity you are dispensing is 6 tablets, and the best form this should be is in the form of 500 milligram per dosage, 500 milligram per dose daily for this. So reflecting in 6 tablets. Now this is an instance. Same thing happened to when we come to carvedilol. I think there are drugs like carvedilol in the system. We have 25 milligram, we have 6.25 milligram, we have 12.5 milligram. This is the only 3 strengths of carvedilol we have in the system. Perhaps there are more strength of carvedilol that we have. We have the 3.125 milligram in physically as a strength, but we don't have it in the system. So perhaps the doctor that's what the doctor want to give. You should know how to manage it by correcting the quantity. Now, in this, if perhaps what to have is, I want you to understand first that 12.5 milligram, 2 tablets of 12.5 milligrams is equivalent to 25 milligram, and 2 tablets of 3.125 milligram is equivalent to 1 tablet of 6.25 milligram of carvedilol. So if perhaps what the doctor wants to give is 3.125 milligram, the doctor has posted 6.25 milligram and has come here and has said 1 tablet daily for 28 days. Let's say 28 days, we compute. Let's say this is a prescription, and what we want to give is 3 points. Please do well to come back here and edit this quantity, because you are giving 3 points and the person is taking 6 points. The quantity you are giving in this in the system is correct like this. What it then means that you'll be giving physical quantity of an equivalent of 56 tablets because of the strength you are giving. So I want us to understand this. I pray that God will give us grace to understand this, because these are the things that will guide us to getting dispensing right and reducing prescription error, which will affect our stock level, because there will be a serious update on the 26th of this month in our stocks. And after that update, we're not expected to see any form of error, the quantity of drugs not balancing in the system. And these are things that will affect the quantity of drugs in the system, not tallying with quantity of drugs that we have physically. At every point in time, the quantity of drug we have physically should always tally with what we have in the system, because the system is what will be used to judge against us. Is our record, is all we have as reference. So we should be careful on how we handle them. Should be careful on how we handle them. Perhaps you want to dispense a particular drug and the drug is not in the system. Do well to let the store staffs know about it. So if it is not real there, it could be imputed. Because sometimes drugs are hidden from the system. The reason sometimes is best known to the store staffs why a particular drug is hidden in the system. Okay, let me also mention this. Sometimes why drugs are hidden in the system is because probably the drug is no longer available in stock, and we don't want the doctors to keep prescribing the drug. We hide it. But if everything being equal, the doctor won't be able to prescribe a drug that is not physically available, that is not available in the system, which as well will not be physically available. So now, something somehow there is another important thing when it comes to editing of prescription, which is the issue of adding item to a particular prescription. Perhaps you've checked at this prescription, something is missing. You can always edit this prescription by clicking on add item to the prescription. Let's say what is missing here is strep C. This person is supposed to take strep C, but there is no strep C. You can always click to. Now when this display, you click on OK. Yeah, it has taken you to the page. Click on the next empty space and add your strep C to your prescription, and ensure that you do the normal thing. Strep C should be taking 1 tablet, or lozenges, 1 tablet. The frequency should be 80. Let's go by BT to 12 hourly for 7 days. For 7 days or repeat. That's 14 tablets. Now I've added this. If I click on submit, it will reflect in the original prescription. But I don't want to add this because I'm working on live prescription. So I don't want to submit this. I've mistakenly clicked submitted. So in this, I'll cancel it. I think that will also teach us how to cancel. Now I haven't done this. I close this page. It has taken me back to the page I was using to edit the prescription. At this page, I can as well cancel. Now I've ticked the strep C. I want to cancel it. I'll click on cancel. Are you sure you want to cancel prescription? I'll click on yes. We say one prescription cancelled successfully. Okay, the strep C has been cancelled from the prescription. So it won't show again in the original prescription if I update this prescription. Perhaps I won't be updating it. So now that is it. There are so many errors that could result to a drug not balancing, and I believe I've touched some of it. Now let's close this page and go back to uh, okay, and go back to what we had. Close. This is the editing page. I want to close the editing page, and it will take us to the original prescription page. Okay, this is the original prescription page. You discover the anti-malaria was not altered. The strep C is not also there. The strep C is not also there. So that's about working with drug in drug prescription. Now, there are other things, other menus in this page. There are other menus in this page. Now, the next thing we want to look at is prescription. We'll be looking at prescription. We'll be looking at prescription. For now, I'll be in our next training, we'll be looking at prescription. So I want to say thank you for this section of the training. We've done a lot of things. Remember, the essence of this training is to ensure that things are done right.